Yo, what it do? Use your boy Culture Shocker. We are back with another video, and today we're going to do a preview video of the Indianapolis Colts. Got a primetime game against the Pittsburgh Steelers on Monday night. Now, this is two bottom of the barrel NFL teams, but you know me, I'm a Colts fan, so we got to go ahead and talk about this. The Colts are going up against one of the worst teams in the NFL. Now, this is kind of a shocker, but it's kind of not. It's like a reality check, basically. You know, this team, the Pittsburgh Steelers that we're going up against, is young, still developing talent, and still could be sneaky good on a weekday game like this, on a Monday against the Indianapolis Colts, who did not find their groove yet, and still somehow happen to have a better record than them, which is quite shocking. But looking at the rankings, the Colts, of course, have one of the best defenses in the NFL, but when it comes to that offense, it is just poor. But when you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, they have one of the worst defenses and one of the worst offenses ranked on ESPN. So that is kind of a shocker. So I would love to see how this is going to be. This is going to be a slugfest. Two teams that just can't seem to get it together. But the Steelers can still win this game due to the Colts offense being so bad and just leaving the defense out there to just die. So, I mean, you know, anything can go in this type of scenario. Of course, I'm going to pick the Colts to win because this is just one of those games you just can't lose. You know what I mean? Like, this is like when the Colts played the Denver Broncos and both teams are trying to lose and the Colts still found a way to win. This is one of those games for the Colts. Now, of course, history has just changed. It's evolved into another type of step going forward into the season. You know, in recent time, back in the day, you would look at this matchup and you'll say, oh Lord, Big Ben's coming to town or Antonio Brown's coming to town. And you see something like that because whenever Ben Roethlisberger plays the Indianapolis Colts, he just goes into this elite mode and just can't be stopped. You know what I mean? Like, he's just one of those quarterbacks that you would just hate to match up against back in the day if you was a Colts fan, because he is breaking records whenever he plays the Colts. I hate it. And you know, now as today, Colts fans just don't like to see Jacksonville or the Tennessee Titans because we know how that game may go. But back in the day, for me, it was the Pittsburgh Steelers. They had our number almost every time we matched up. Ben Roethlisberger would just throw bombs down the field, just Hail Mary bombs, and the receiver would just be wide open. He was just one of those gunslingers that I just didn't like to see back in the day personally. But, you know, now that he's retired, they have a guy named Kenny Pickett. Now, they don't even have just Kenny Pickett. They have a few quarterbacks on our roster. Trubisky, you know, they had a quarterback controversy at the beginning of the season, you know, being as though they paid all that money to Trubisky and they didn't want to start Kenny Pickett. But, you know, Trubisky being himself, you know, lost his spot and they put in Trubisky. Kenny Pickett, and he had a few decent games. Kenny Pickett's that quarterback, you know, from college that tried to do the fake slide and then got back up and kept running. They wound up drafting him. Coming out the draft, you know, they talked about how small his hands were, you know, being at the quarterback position going into the NFL. But, I mean, he has some bright spots and he has some low spots. But he is a rookie, so that is coming with the territory. He wasn't the top pick coming out the draft. So it is expected when you have a guy like that. So I think you guys just got to give him time at the quarterback position and see how he's going to play moving forward. A game like the Indianapolis Colts is not going to be no walk in the park. This defense at the beginning of the game is going to wreak havoc. It really is. I say the best bet, Kenny Pickett or whoever's starting at the quarterback position, going up against the Colts on Monday night is probably going to be a second half, because I'm pretty sure they're probably going to be winded if they don't put up points on the defensive side. But I think the defensive side for the Colts is going to have a very good day. Personally, I mean, they usually do regardless of the situation, but I think especially against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who's still trying to find their niche of what they want to do moving forward, I think this defense for the Colts is going to have a very solid day. Now, there is an injury report list for the Colts of who may play and who may not. So if we are missing Grover Stewart or Zaire Franklin or of that nature, this is going to be a tougher game than what we expect. It's going to be tough regardless because we are the Indianapolis Colts and we don't know which direction we want to go to, if we want to go for the draft or actually still be competitive. Now, if they are taking the competitive route, I will say that this is the last chance that they have. If they lose one more game, they are out of playoff contention. They are still in the hunt as of today. Shocker, newsflash if you guys didn't know. I know that, but personally, I don't know if they're going to make it or not. I mean, this is still a crazy NFL season. There's a lot of teams that's out there having winning records that you don't think of. And there's a lot of good teams that don't have good records at this moment. And it's like a change of direction in the NFL season. So a lot of elite talent that we're used to seeing is just on the downfall of their careers. And now there's a lot of young teams out there that's just taking it up a notch, and they're like, hey, we're coming. So it's kind of that direction right now in the NFL. So like I said, the opportunity is still there for the Colts. Maybe this can be a changing of direction for the Colts if they win this game. But like I said, primetime Colts is pretty decent football to watch. Of course, they still have their hiccups, but they still do happen to have a pretty decent record on primetime. Like I said, the last time we played was, against the Broncos, to my knowledge, and we won that game. And, we had a Thursday night game, but this game is Monday night, primetime ESPN. I think they're going to come out and actually get this W. When it comes to the offensive side, of course, we mentioned that earlier. The offense for the Colts has to figure something out. The only reason that is holding us back, to me personally, is arm strength and offensive line protection. But the biggest thing is offensive line protection. Jeff Saturday's back on primetime. His debut was on primetime. He got a W. So we're going to see how this goes against a very veteran coach, Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin has a good history as a head coach. He never really has losing seasons, so I think this is like one of many, one of less, I would say, that he doesn't really, have losing seasons like that as a head coach, especially for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who's just known to be successful. This is a shocking year for him. So I would love to see how they're going to move forward with that direction of him as head coach. But for the offensive side, again, I mentioned offensive protection is going to have to be a huge thing for the Colts this week against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like I said, this team is bottom of the barrel. They're having a very rough year. So if we can't find out anything on offense against this team, like I said, we can't run the football, I would say. I think their run defense is probably better than their pass coverage. So we're probably going to have to be forced to pass the football, but they do have some dogs on that defensive side. So I would not take them lightly. That safety group is still, forcing turnovers. I mean, that linebacker core, I'm pretty sure you can probably figure something out, but I wouldn't test those safeties. If anyone knows, is us. The Minka Fitzpatrick, his debut was against Jacoby Brissett in Pittsburgh, and he caught a pick six. So I would not try that safety group. But like I said, if anything, if we're going to have to see some success, try to give Jonathan Taylor the ball, whoever's running the football, but do not force it. I would say try to figure something out with our guys like Michael Pittman Jr., Alec Pierce, Paris Campbell. We do have some threats, but we just got to get them the football. And it's going to come down to the protection. So I think that's going to be the biggest question moving forward to this game is how the offensive line is going to look for the Indianapolis Colts. We already know how the defensive side is going to look, but how is the offensive protection going to be for Matt Ryan to try to get the ball off? Will we see a quarterback change again? That's another question moving forward. Like I said, all of this is coming to if they're going to stay competitive or what they're going to do moving forward. But this is their last chance to make a playoff run if they want to do it now. Like I said, I doubt it, but hey, it is what it is. Anything's possible at the end of the day. This is the NFL. So we've seen Cinderella stories, but I don't know how the Colts are going to pull this off. But I do think they can win this game. Absolutely. Like I said, both of these teams are not having good years. But I do think it's going to take a little bit longer of a process for the Steelers to figure it out instead of the Colts. I do think the Colts have a competitive edge over the Steelers this year. So I am going to go with the Colts to win. The score is going to be, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I don't see both teams. They both average like 17 to 16 points per game. So I do see this being a low-scoring game. I'm going to go Colts 17 to 13. Colts victory. It's going to be an ugly game. It's going to be low scoring because both of these teams cannot put up points. But I do, like I said, I do have the Colts winning this game. But you guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Who do you have winning? Who's going to be a standout? And who are you most concerned with? And let me know all these things in the comments. Do you think the Colts can make the playoffs? Let me know that as well. This is Marcus, and until next time, you've been Culture Shock.